Hello everybody, welcome back. This is class 2, part 2. This is the types of penetration testing and its strategy class. So in part 2, I will go over application security assessment, type of application security assessments to start with. Then you'll also go over network security and wireless access assessment. I'll also talk about telephony security assessment, social engineering, and all of that. And we will also discuss penetration testing. What does it mean? How does penetration consultants, what do they need in terms of their skill sets? And also we'll go a little bit into detail what you need to have as a penetration tester on your resume. All right. Okay, so let's begin. Let me first explain to you how application security assessment and what it is and why is it vital for an organization. So as we know, it is not possible to prevent a weak application from exposing an organization's assets, even in a well-deployed and secure infrastructure. So basically network points depict each logical and physical segment. So each network point, right? So the goal of this type of assessment is to ensure that your application does not reveal or grant access to the core servers and also to your software within a network, right? So that is the main reason for your application security assessment. So as I said, the application security assessment is designed to identify your access threats to start with, and this could be to your organization through bespoke, through proprietary applications or other systems which you're running within your organization. So this test basically checks an application so that a malicious user cannot access or modify, even destroy data or even try to tamper with services from within the system. So basically the vulnerabilities of a web application can be identified with the help of your web application testing, and usually this involves executing an application remotely without knowing the inner workings of an application, right? So you don't know what is the structure like and how each components are interacting with each other. So the best way to perform a test is to exploiting various vulnerabilities of an application through a series of, you can say, a systematic and repetitive tests. So you keep on repeating in a very systematic manner that, okay, this is working now, this is working now, oh yeah, this works. So you're trying to exploit various vulnerabilities. So it's like a hit and trial, I would say, right? All right, so next let me introduce you to some of the more important components of application testing. First I want to go over is the source code review process. We've all heard about it. Let me talk a little bit more and teach you what exactly a source code review process is and what you need to know from a penetration tester standpoint. So a source code review basically helps to ensure that an application does not contain any important information that an attacker might use to exploit your system or your application. For instance, clearly available application code may include your test comments, names, or clear type passwords also are found that can reveal essential data or access or information about the application to the intruder. So it's very vital that you mask all these or take them out, So next is your authorization testing. So basically authorization testing tests the system responsible for the commencement and maintenance of user sessions, right? So this is your authorization testing. So are you authorized or not? So there's a system which of course keeps all that list in there, right? So it involves basically testing of the input application of your login fields, your security cookies, and even lockout testing to ensure that the valid sessions cannot be hijacked, because session hijacking is very common. So authorization testing is performed to identify the permission status of logged in systems and helps to identify the unauthorized access. So that is what authorization testing is. It's very key, very important. You should definitely be familiar with it and try to see if your application or your applications are safeguarded by performing this kind of a testing. So the next component of application testing is functionality testing. So how does functionality testing work? All right, so that's the key question here. Well, it basically tests the system that are responsible for an application functionality. You may say it involves testing of the input validation of characters and or the specific URLs. Another one is your web penetration testing. So web penetration testing involves checking a web application written in any languages. It could be in your J2EE, it could be in ASP.NET, it could be in PHP. So in this testing, the team is given a set of accounts on an application and with different privileges or different access, you may say. And so that each team can find the type of vulnerabilities which you are having. So web penetration testing helps identify web application vulnerabilities such as SQL injection problems, your cross-site scripting, also referred to as XSS, cross-site scripting problems, and also your XSRF and weak authentication, and also it could be your source code exposure. So all these are part of your web penetration testing. Very key, very important for web applications. So as we know that network penetration testing is critical to an organization or to a computer network, right? It is designed to assess an organization's network and system security risks and also the vulnerabilities in a way that an attacker might access the network. So that's how the main goal for network penetration testing is. So usually network penetration testing uses processes and tools to scan the network for your vulnerabilities and also helps organizations to develop security policies. Very important, right? So this network penetration testing, you should know that the key goal is, as a penetration tester for you, is that you, first of all, are using proper tools, and tools keep on changing. So I would go you to, whenever you're using a tool, do some research online, get the latest and the greatest version or the new product. Usually there are some tools are written they're written for a specific need. So with what kind of organization you're penetration testing with, what is your role down there, make sure your tools kind of fit that model, right? And in the end, once you have listed out these vulnerabilities, your main goal is to help the organization for whom you're conducting this penetration test or penetration testing for. So with that, you can work closely with the organization and develop their security policies or improve on their security policies, right? So basically this test, the network penetration testing, attempts to compromise systems from the network in the same way that an attacker would do. And then basically it prepares a detailed report of the findings. Usually it uncovers network security faults and flaws that can lead to data or equipment being manipulated or destroyed. It could be either by your Trojan virus or Trojan attack, or it could be by using DOS, brute force DOS attacks and other intrusions, which may compromise your information. All right. So basically, the testers involved in network penetration testing are experienced in network programming and security. That is one key thing, right? Because you should know your network, you should know programming network components, and also security aspect of a network. And thus, you need to have a deep understanding of vulnerabilities, the way to exploit those vulnerabilities and the way to fix those vulnerabilities. So that is how deep knowledge you should have about your network, systems and network programming. So this test ensures that the security implementation actually provides, if you are doing a security implementation, it provides, I would say, a protection that the enterprise requires when an attack takes place. So when an attack takes place on a network, you need to have that security implementation and protection in place. So generally, this is done by exploiting a system vulnerability, as I said, in an organization. That's how the attack kind of takes place. So wireless and, or you can say remote access assessment. What is that? So it's used for accessing the security levels of an organization that use mobile workforce. These days, actually, everybody, a lot of organizations, most of the organizations, I would say, they have a very big chunk is mobile workforce. People are working remotely, they're using some kind of access points to get into your system. So to ensure effective management of the associated risks, it is essential to secure the architecture, design, development of a solution. So let me dive a little bit into this different wireless, I will say, like, specifications which are out there for the current, that is 802.11, right? So basically the IEEE, so I'll call it IEEE, it stands for the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. So IEEE is the governing body, so it expands the original 802.11 standards to form a 802.11b specification with the bandwidth of up to 11 megabytes per second. So as a penetration tester, you should be aware. Why am I getting you familiar with this is this will give you a good understanding how your wireless access points work. What is the capabilities of each wireless access point? What is the limitations of each wireless access point? All right. So let me talk a little bit more about some features of these wireless access points. So basically, it uses a frequency of 2.4 gigahertz. The 802.11a, so that was 802.11b, uses 2.4 gigahertz. The 802.11a has a bandwidth of about 54 megabytes per second and a frequency of 5 gigahertz. So see the improvement from 802.11b to 802.11a. So the speed is from 11 megabytes per second, now it's 54 megabytes per second. The frequency 2.4 gigahertz, now it's 5 gigahertz. So this is least commonly used due to its cost, the 802.11a. It's getting more common now with businesses, but usually it's part of high business networks or larger businesses or organizations. Another one is the 802.11g specification, which supports the best features of both. I would say it has got the best of both worlds. So it's got the features of 802.11a and 802.11b. So it has a bandwidth of 54 megabytes per second, but on a frequency of 2.4 gigahertz. So most of your 802.11g access points are compatible with 802.11b, which is pretty cool. So I think that's a natural choice these days, because the Wi-Fi is always a bottleneck. So choosing the right Wi-Fi is important. So next, let me get you familiar with your Bluetooth technology. So Bluetooth supports your wireless networking and compatibility with basically a wide range of operating systems and devices. We all know that. So various devices which you can put on your Bluetooth or your smartphone devices, your PDAs, your laptops, your smartphones, cell phones, printers, and so on. So all of them which have enablement of Bluetooth can you put on your Bluetooth network, right? So Bluetooth is a simple and easy way to communicate among various computer devices. We know that. So the radio communication channel is a fast fading mobile radio channel, right? So other common uses are the gigahertz signals, the wireless radio transmissions, and the radio communication channels. So those could be other wireless remote access assessment examples.